pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner's office is requesting the board approve the next piece of minutes for the meeting of September 8th, 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler? Not here.
Okay, so abstain.
Commissioner Claypool? Yes.
Okay, I will now report on the items that I approved on September 23rd, as authorized by Resolution 16-097. I accepted the resignation of Colleen Prokop, part-time recreation and education assistant, to be effective September 19th, 2016, for the Department on Aging. I also granted permission for that department to advertise to replace that position. This will be advertised until filled. I accepted a resignation on behalf of Transit for James Ramsey, part-time driver, to be effective September 14th, 2016. And there was a liquor license where this office concurred with the Montville Township trustees in not requesting a hearing on the license requested by Hidden Lakes Family Campground LLC, permit number CNEW 382-5995.
Morning, Ed.
Good morning. Okay. For the financials in front of you, we have a few items this week. I've got several supplemental appropriations requests. One is for the Sheriff's Fair Rotary Fund, one for the 800 Communications Fund, one for the Geauga County Board of BD Construction Fund, and another for the Geauga County Board of BD for their regular fund. Under the cash transfers, we have several funds from the general fund for our portion of 2016 funding to the county home, the community development fund, the 800 communications fund, and the 911 program fund. Under encumbrances, we have a travel encumbrance for the common police court and one for the probate court. Under vouchers, we have a payment of $25,000 to GFC Supply for the engineer for a chain link fence project, a payment of $103,768 to Spillman Technologies for the sheriff for 911 services, and a payment of $73,134 to Jack Gibson Construction for water resources for the Russell wastewater treatment plant upgrades.
What's the chain link fence project?
The county engineer is fencing in.
I actually do not. I will find out unless you know.
Do we wanna wait on that to hear from it? To see what exactly that is, anybody from the engineer here?
No, I didn't see anything.
Do you know what it's about?
No, I do not. I have not heard anything.
I mean, you
other
can,
than the chain
you
link.
can defer the vote, I can go back and make a call, maybe I
Okay.
have answers.
I can go ahead and do that.
Or I can do it, yeah. Yeah, we'll just defer the vote
wait.
until, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll just set these aside for right now.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one, number 4, is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution number 16-133, accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
So every year, the Budget Commission meets in August with all the entities that assess taxes throughout the county and has hearings with them, and at the end, once they're satisfied that the taxes are correct, they give us a document, you folks have to certify the rates for those funds that are in the Commissioner's budget. So this is something we do every year.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spudler? Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
I think, did Linda go back to,
Shoot it
to call on the,
in. Well, yeah, but there's a show
okay,
back.
okay.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Morning, sir.
Morning. How are you?
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Sure. How are you?
This is,
morning, my name is Tracy Jordan, I'm the victim advocate with the Geauga County Sheriff's Office. Information is power, and that's my hope for October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Domestic violence is a problem in our country and our community. The statistics are very I can't even talk now. Every day, the Geauga County Sheriff's Office will receive a call regarding domestic violence. In 2015, we responded to 344 calls. Domestic violence calls are still the deadliest for the police officers who respond to. So this Thursday, September 29th at 1 o'clock, please join us at the Geauga Lyric Theater to hear what Geauga County is doing to stop domestic violence and how everybody can help. We will have a community meeting with a special panel, and they'll take questions, and on our panel is Sheriff Dan McCullen, Deputy Robin Taylor, Judge Terry Sapika, Andrea Gutka from Women Safe, and also Deborah Vaughn from the Ohio Attorney General's office staff. But these events are not enough. Domestic violence is everyone's business. It affects all of us, every family member, every workplace, every community, and every one of us has a power to stop and stopping the violence, because information is power. So during the October Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I hope to encourage everyone to join our efforts to stop the violence in our community. I hope to see everybody on Thursday, September 29th, and as you see, I left you buttons for everybody to wear for October to get the word out and help us stop
What time
domestic
is it,
violence.
on the 29th?
It is at 1 o'clock.
I don't know if they will be able to make it, but we will send a representative.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
They have budget hearings. Okay. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 16-134, recognizing October 2016 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
See you
much.
guys.
Yes, we did.
It has an answer.
Linda got the answer. That is to continue fencing around their facility on Barrett Road so they can have it completely gated off.
For the assault area? Okay.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute resolution number 16-132, itemizing the financials for the meeting of September 27th, 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Thank you, Wayne.
For all of the fire police departments.
Good morning.
I didn't know we were going to come up.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having us.
I think this is a kind of a special effort on your part to bring all this forward, and I want to recognize you guys for all the work you're doing on doing this, and it's a very good thing, so. Please do it. So do you want to go ahead and
I don't know, do you want to?
make a statement, or do we want to do the resolution? We're, for the public's purpose, and we're doing a resolution this morning in recognition and appreciation of all of our first responders. And so I don't want to steal their thunder.
Also write it in.
Let me read the resolution, and then you can make whatever comments you want to have. And I think we ought to recognize the first responders who are here. This is what they're, this is all about them, not about us.
That's right.
So here's the resolution we're about to sign in recognition. Whereas the Geauga County Board of Commissioners takes this opportunity to recognize all first responders, including police, fire, EMS, emergency services, that proudly serve the residents of Geauga County for the professionalism and dedication. And whereas these first responders are always ready to answer the call and lend a helping hand, no matter the time or weather, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And whereas the Geauga County Board of Commissioners are asking the residents of Geauga County to show their appreciation and support of these first responders for their continued response and dedication by simply saying thank you. for all they do to protect and serve on a daily basis. And whereas the Geauga County Board of Commissioners extend their appreciation to all the members of the Auburn Fire Department, Bainbridge Fire Department, Police Departments, Burton Fire Department, Police Departments, the Chardon Fire Department, Police Departments, the Chesterland Fire and Police Departments, the Hamden Fire and Department, the Middlefield Fire and Police Departments, Montvale Fire Department, Munson Fire Department, the Newberry Fire Department, the Parkman Fire Department, the Russell Fire and Police Departments. We have a lot of great people in Geauga County. Russell Police Department, Thompson Fire and Police Department, the Troy Fire Department, Geauga County Sheriff's Office, and the Geauga County Park District Rangers, and the Ohio State Patrol, the Park Rangers for the Holden Arboretum, Henderson State Park, including the game warden, as well as the staff at the Department of Emergency Services. And now therefore be it resolved that the Geauga County Board of Commissioners do hereby recognize and appreciate all of the first responders in Geauga County for their dedication and protection of the residents' lives and property by saying thank you. And be it further resolved that this resolution become part of the permanent record of the Board of County Commissioners of Geauga County.
Yeah.
So,
We felt that it's time that the community recognize what keeps us safe around the clock, every day. You know, when there's a problem on Christmas, who do we call? We call the fire and the police department. And the power of one is powerful. A young lady, 10 years old, who lives in Tyler, Texas, when the two policemen were shot in their car at Christmas a year ago in New York City, she took her holiday time and wrote 1,500 handwritten thank you notes. And then her parents took her from Tyler, Texas to New York City to hand out all those thank you notes. And Joe was convalescing from operation, so she's watching TV and Fox in the morning and sees this young lady having done all this, and then she looks in the mirror and says, what are we doing about our first responders right here in River City? So Joe decided that we would try to start this movement, and it's been a very, very easy thing to do because we're recognizing people that recognize us every day. And we thank you all for this wonderful turnout, which is more than we anticipated. And we thank you all for doing this, and really we thank you all for everything that you do around the clock.
No, thank you for your effort. It's, pretty heartwarming to see it. As a, past law enforcement officer myself, I can't thank you enough. It's just, it's a thankless job, and at the end of the day, we're in a position where our law enforcement and our, safety services are constantly getting bashed in the media, and at the end of the day, they're good people that have given up a lot for others, and it's a constant giving game, and it's warming to see people like you stepping up and taking a position and a stand. And I thank you personally, myself. Yeah.
Thank you.
We can't say thank you enough. We just really can't. We're so proud of these men and women, what they do, that we all just wanted to try to get the ball rolling, and the ball is just, it's multiplying, and that's our goal, is to try to communication, try to establish communication, appreciation, and get people talking to one another, and mutual respect. And so we're just very pleased that the Geauga County Board of Commissioners has agreed to back us in this effort.
Yeah.
And we'd like to see it grow all over.
You know, one of the things that we feel is really important, that this kind of recognition go through the school system, so the young folks have an opportunity to see the power of appreciation rather than watch television all the time and get a different view of the people that protect us.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So we will be working out among the community. We're reaching out to the Chamber of Commerce, to the school board, and so to try to get everybody on board, and so that next year there will be a formal recognition, and we'll be back again in September.
We get it on the calendar.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Well, as you say, it's, special recognition with all the negative press that we're seeing today. I mean, Geauga County is a special place for a lot of reasons. And one of them is that we recognize what great people we have, particularly in our first responders. We really appreciate all that they do. And so, one of the comments or things that we talked about last week, was it last week? Or
Last week.
Last week, it was moved pretty quick. Was that sometimes you'll see flags around that have an American flag with a blue stripe down the middle. And I've had people call me, what is this? Is this some sort of anti-something or another? But it is about support of law enforcement. So if you see an American flag or a blue flag that's got a thin stripe down, it's a thin blue line, and that's what this pin signifies, is support for our law enforcement and first responders and so forth. So, educating people about that, that's just a way for them to demonstrate their support, and they can do that visibly, so.
I appreciate the pen you gave us last week.
Yeah, there you go.
He hasn't taken it off.
We're gonna have to get more. If you start seeing more of those around, that's a good positive thing.
Yeah.
So we have a number of these resolutions to hand out, and we're furiously signing them to try and get ready. But we would, I think we wanted to have law enforcement line up so we can get some pictures and recognize them and so forth. So.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 16-135 in recognition and appreciation to all of Geauga County's first responders.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spiller?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool? And then,
You know what, probably have everybody come up and
Yeah.
take a picture with everybody with you guys and
Well, you don't need to.
No,
No,
you're in
you
the
can't.
picture. You're in the picture. They don't need to see us, they need to see you.
yeah.
No, it's all about them, not about us.
What would you like us to do?
Yep, we can, let's have everybody come up here and,
well, I don't know when we start along that wall.
We should have introduced them. We did that last week.
Front of the table.
We didn't know we were gonna have to come up forward.
Not everybody's here
No,
that's signing
staff
in.
that you have done further your case that they do, there's one for each department.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to, I don't know how many are here. This one is for Tracy, is she still here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is for Tracy and Dan, this one.
Oh, good, thank you.
That's for the domestic violence.
Tracy, this is the one for
Thank you so much.
domestic violence.
We're just about done.
Well, like I said, we have more than people.
Sheriff's Office,
I think, yeah.
we have DES.
Let me get that chair out of you guys' way.
Sure.
I'm just trying to get in the
Well,
picture.
Yeah.
Photo
Over there.
Can I move this temporarily?
We got, I think
I think it's all right.
how many others
Except for the mill, but that's how I was.
outside sheriff?
You knew something.
Yeah, we went to school together. He was a grade younger.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Wait a minute, you can,
I don't
you
know
gotta,
what Dave
you gotta
West,
get that.
though.
Yeah, come on. Please.
Yeah, we were gonna have to go on this side so that we could get you
On the TV camera.
Oh,
If you don't mind.
What do we want to do?
but you should have one in the paper.
On this side? Okay, we're changing sides. Hold on.
Oh, honey,
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
swap sides.
We wanna see all of your faces on the.
Yeah, I'll get
the residents can say thank you, right? Like you could send us, go down and go with them.
Do we haven't, I mean, I'm pretty sure, did you hand out enough?
The ones that were here, I didn't know if there was
Is
any other.
anybody that's
I had
a department
sheriff,
representative,
Bainbridge.
not-
Did I
We're not
miss a
giving one to every-
department? You got Department of Emergency
Individually, right?
Services.
Yeah.
We know we need more than one.
Here.
No.
Yeah, you wanna zoom out where people can see, you get certain people that, I'm gonna ask this.
Okay.
If it's written just like Mr. Photo.
You're a little shorter than these guys.
She's our tail gunner.
I was supposed to have chest opening. Wait, where's your chest opening?
There you go. Don't be shy. Okay. Smile. Fine.
can, I don't mind.
Okay, we want one with the commissioners in it
Up to them.
as well.
Yeah. You guys want to?
Yeah, I'd like to, you don't have to put it on paper, but I'd like to get a.
So we can give them.
No, you can use
No, you all of you need to stay.
No, I'll.
There you
There you go.
go. There you go. Hold that up.
See all of you.
Go ahead.
Skip, you gotta get
All right.
Bob, I can't see your.
Yeah, Bob's gotta move over a little bit more. Mr. Royer, he's gotta move one way or another.
There we go.
All right, cheese. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, 3 tiers.
Yes, Scott, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, we can't tell you guys how proud we are.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing the store attention. Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. No, the resolution.
So, these are all signed.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Please. Yeah, okay.
And I can give Toby Camden. Give you Russell Fire, please, and
It's a natural instinct. That's development. Keep it moving, nothing to see here.
Newberry? I can,
It's up to you whether you want, what you want to deliver, otherwise I can
we can do
do.
Newberry.
I swear. Never ends.
No.
Yeah.
We are.
Police, and I'll give you the police as well.
Great, thank you.
Ori, I know.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
It's a little late, but I just saw it when I got back.
31 now?
Yeah. 31.
No.
No.
That's over.
He's youngin'.
No, he's, no.
No, he's youngin'.
No, he's not there yet.
No, he's not even close.
Not even
Yeah, look at
close.
that baby face.
Yeah, Darlene, that's why it was with her, these two, that they're, this is also Darlene.
So if anyone's watching the video, it's gonna look kinda odd, because whenever you have a lot of people milling around there, I lose the connection to the wireless. So the camera has mind of its own, so it'll be an interesting interlude there where it's all over the place. I'll finally get it back, now it's back.
You could edit it and just get a picture of Midge, put up there.
Yeah, technical
Technical
difficulties.
difficulties with Midge.
Then I gotta go.
Do you still have your number? I guess.
I know, I got it.
I have to mail the rest of them. There was 29 of them.
There was that many of them.
Plus the one this year, so there was technically.
You're the official.
There were that many signed here.
Count the stickies.
Yeah.
The sequence
She
by
took the
sequence.
ones
Thought
that
it
are
was
out.
ghost to
by-
hand them out with a sticker on there, so.
Yeah, sure. I'll get the one over to stick on. We'll get them.
Morning, Anita.
Good morning. Wow.
All
I
that.
thought it was your fault. Well, the first thing that we have is the award of bids for the door project, automatic open doors, and the A&M door was the low bidder. So we were asking the permission to award the bid.
Is this gonna be for Board of Elections too, or no?
Oh, yeah.
Board of Elections.
This is the Board of Elections or all of it? It's not all of
It's
them.
all of them, yeah.
It's all the.
Yeah,
Give me
all,
less than
all
that.
six, all six.
How soon can this get done? Before the election?
Yeah, really. Well, let me
Oh, wait
explain
a
about
minute.
government.
Sorry.
Start on that
My expectation was too high, I understand.
end. Start on the right and work to the left. Start on that end.
Okay, well, at least we've gotten this far. I expected to be another year before
Well,
we
after
get the.
the second bit, if it would've gone through the first bit round, it would've been fine, but.
Yeah.
So of course, this time we get the bid and it's lower than the first bid. Same thing, everything's the same, but it came out.
Yeah, but they probably didn't have work,
Yeah.
a backlog of work, so that,
Maybe they just wanted to.
I'm still,
We
I
had
am,
one bidder though on the first time around, and this time we had three, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, yeah, we had three different bidders.
this,
And they were pretty close.
this $50,000, is that for the total of all of them or each?
It's the total for all of them.
All six, okay.
Yeah, 49,950.
and there's six.
6 projects, yeah, 6 doors that we're gonna address.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board award the bid to AM Door Supply Company for the Geauga County Buildings and Grounds ADA Door Improvements Project under grant BF 151AZ1 in the amount of $49,950 for alternates number 1 through number 6. They represent the lowest and best bid, and further authorize the President of the Board to execute the notice of award.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier? Commissioner Claypool?
Okay. And then the second one is the signing of the grant agreement. This happens every year, and this is the projects approved from last June, that's right, June. So we sign it here, then it gets sent to the state, they sign it there, then they send it back, and then we can begin next year's projects. And we're actually gonna try to get them really quick too. So we hit maybe a sweet spot. We're gonna try.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute a State of Ohio State Community Development Block Grant CDBG Program Community Development Program Grant Agreement BF 161AZ1 in the amount of $176,000.
Make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Thank you.
Anita,
You have to
thank you.
post it on your
Anita.
stories too.
Oh, yeah.
Stop over what you can. Like, let's get them.
You better have a box of tissues.
Oh, really? Are you laughing that hard or crying
Well,
that hard?
could go one extreme to the other.
Oh, we'll
We'll
look
have
forward
Craig
to
there
it.
too.
Morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
And you too, Craig.
We're here to ask the board to approve and execute our child support services contract with the prosecutor's office. This is our annual contract to allow us to pay for the services that are provided by the prosecutor's office on take cases into court for us for enforcement, paternity establishment, and support establishment.
Okay.
Okay. The Department of Job and Family Services is requesting the board approve and execute the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services 4D contract between the Geauga County Child Support Enforcement Agency and the Geauga County Prosecutor's Office for legal services for the period July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017 in the amount of $59.30 per hour.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Try to call you a little bit later, we can catch up on a few things too then. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jerry, come on down.
Morning, Jerry. How are you? Good. Good, good. How was your trip? Excellent.
First item on the list for us here is the filling our construction inspector, Sam Parmesan, our current inspector is retiring at the end of November. So we advertised internally, chose Robin Edmonds to be his replacement. He's currently one of our maintenance workers, so we'll be moving up, coming up from Merritt Road up to the office here to be the inspector. He'll have a 180-day probationary period, which is in accordance with the union contract.
Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve the promotion of Robin Edmonds to the position of full-time construction inspector number 2322 at the rate of $18.13 per hour with a 180-day probationary period to be effective September 25th, 2016.
Jerry, who's he taking the place of?
He'll be taking the Sam Parmigiano's place.
Okay, okay.
We're trying to get in, Sam's retiring at the end of November, so we're trying to get at least
Nice.
a month or two of
Together,
cross-training there, so he can hopefully, Sam's been with us for 30 years, so hopefully he can impart some of his institutional knowledge into Rob during the 2 years.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Next item here is a increase with the engineering contract with CT Consultants on our McFarland project. As part of the membrane project, we were looking at possibly replacing our screens down there. They go with a finer screening system. What we actually have found, with membranes, the old membranes, what we were getting was some debris into the membrane area that's clogging the diffusers, so it wasn't getting the air to it. We thought we needed a screen, a more smaller screen at the head of the works. What we actually did was block a couple of the connections between one section of the plant to the other section of the plant, which kept that from getting through. So we don't really need the screens, but we had, during that time, we had CT doing some review of possible screenings. This is to cover their cost.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute service contract maintenance for number 2, increasing the contract with CT Consultants Incorporated to perform additional engineering services for the McFarland screen replacement in the amount of $5,934.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
And the last item here for us is a change order for our Troy Oaks Force Main project. With that, with the force main going across 422, ODOT and the county engineer, ODOT on 422 and the county engineer on Shaw Road have asked us to extend guardrail a little further to protect where we had the vacuum, or not vacuum, but the air release valves go in. So this is just to cover that additional cost to meet ODOT and county engineer's request.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute service contract maintenance for number 1, increasing the contract for Site 4 in Ohio to perform work on the guardrail located at State Route 422 and Shaw Road for the Troy Oaks Force Main project in the amount of $10,521.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank
Bye-bye
you.
now. Hi, Kathy.
Good morning.
Should be embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Eh.
yeah.
Want to do the recognition thing?
Well, I didn't know if we were saying or not.
Yeah.
Aw,
31 again.
what was that?
31.
31 again.
Yeah, double that.
What we're mumbling about is today is Kathy's birthday. So we're giving her the raspberries.
Is it
I got a
proper
beautiful day.
etiquette to recognize a birthday publicly like this?
I
There'll be
would-
like thousands and thousands of
As long as we don't say a number, I think it's okay
Yeah.
if you blurt out some kind of number.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Okay, got up today and said, hey, thank you for another day, another year.
Up to 5 that are Kathy's.
These are all Kathy?
All
These are all
5.
These are all me.
remaining ones are all
It's all
Kathy's, so-
about-
but these are the ones you have to sign.
Okay, so the first one is, this is our year to renew our SEPCO participation agreement. We came in 2008, and I always liken it to, we were going on this healthcare where we kept going out and shopping and trying to get the best deal, and we'd go and we'd get a rate, and they would give us a very, very good rate just to get our business, and then the next year the rate was like really high, so we kept going back and forth. And we had looked at SEPCO quite a bit, and it was always a little bit too pricey for us to get in. I felt like, when you're jumping rope and you're waiting to jump into that rope, And finally, in 2008, the county was at a point where we had good enough experience that SEPCO gave us a really sweet deal, and so we got in.
Can you explain what SEPCO is? for
Well,
those that don't
SEPCO,
know?
yeah, SEPCO is the consortium for, actually now for 34 counties in Ohio. And it's a pool, it's a healthcare pool. And I'm a big proponent of pools because this year we had a 13.1% increase, which isn't our best. Last year it was 13.2. These are two of our higher years. Had we not been in the pool, we would have realized a 19% increase. So I think for the years that maybe we had helped the pool and we had helped the people like us who might be struggling a bit with higher claims, I think it's a wash. And just like we do with workers' comp, I think being in a pool is a great place for the county to be.
If I could maybe explain where how we get down to 13% from 19%, because I finally think I understand.
Right.
Part of our being in it, it's like the advantage of being self-insured without being out there by yourself. And one of the ways that they help counties out is they put in a stop loss, I think is the right.
Right, it's at
$125,000 for Geauga County is our stop loss, which means if you have a very large claim, once the aggregate charges for that claim exceed $125,000, it no longer counts against our experience. Because we're basically being charged for how much we use the plan. And there's no profit because this is a consortium, so that's a good thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, there were a number of claims that went well over $125,000. In fact, the total value of those claims, I think, was around $700,000.
It was, yeah, it was almost $750,000.
So that explains where we should have, if we've been charged for every single claim, our renewal would have been about 19%. As it was 13.1. The difference is that $700,000 or so that we didn't get charged for because it went above our stop loss.
Exactly. In addition to that, SEPCO also provides us with COBRA services. I like the way it works because as soon as they take someone out of the system and they terminate or a dependent, they're automatically COBRA served, so there's no chance of someone falling in the cracks. We still do have COBRA. I'm a little surprised at that actually with the marketplace, but it's still in place. In addition to that, whether you agree or not, they offer wellness services and they have a third-party administrator that does that for us. So they're keeping track and they have an online program. We had a 10K challenge program this year that a lot of employees jumped on board with. That program was through Health Enhancements. Had we purchased that program, it would have been about $5,000. SEPCO offered it to all of their counties in our Stay Well program, so there's quite a few other benefits as well. They also offer training for us, HIPAA training, all kinds of things, and they're almost like our third-party administrator when it comes to questions. They have attorneys on board if we have any kind of legal issues, and we've had some interesting issues this past year with healthcare, and they even helped us a little bit with our 125 and how that all works. So I think it's a great place for the county to be, is in the pool.
And it's administered by a board of directors. It's comprised primarily of county commissioners from all around the state. So it's not some faceless bureaucrat running our coverage. It's elected officials looking at the benefits and trying to come up with the best plans to give employees good coverage at the same time be responsive with taxpayer dollars.
So what we're asking is for you to sign another 3-year agreement with SEPCO.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the County Employee Benefit Consortium of Ohio Incorporated SEPCO participation agreement for the period January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2019.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Okay, the second thing here is the, it says, let's see, our county and employee contribution rates this year. As I said, we realized a 13.1% increase, so what we're proposing is that the employees absorb a modest increase to offset that increase that we have received as our renewal. So those are right before you. It used to be For our enhanced family, it was 109, it would go to 127. For our enhanced single, it was 44, it would go to $51, and this is per month. For basic family, it was 33 and 30, it would go to 38, and for basic single, it was 13 and would go to $15 per month.
What's basic single?
Basic single, we have two plans. There's quite a big difference between the basic and the enhanced. Right off the top, our enhanced plan has a $100 deductible. Our basic plan has a $1,000 deductible. So there's quite a big variation, but we have the majority by far. Everyone's in the enhanced plan. We have a few in our basic plan, but most people have chosen the enhanced plan.
Repeat the two deductibles again?
100 and 1,000.
Okay.
Mhm.
Maybe you might as well keep going, because they want to do the next one together.
Oh, okay, I can do
So
that.
go down through the rest of them.
Alrighty, and then, let's see, the other one is, do I have to say this about the rate renewal acceptance? Okay, so they're signing off on that. We're also looking at our Delta Dental, which has not changed. It is still $80.32 for family and $28.18 for single coverage. The commissioners have always picked up, absorbed that cost. We're proposing that continue.
You don't see the facial expressions we're
Yeah,
seeing
I'm
from up here,
sorry,
so.
Yeah.
I know, I wish I could have a poker face, I always lose at poker, okay. The other one is our waiver amounts, and those again, we're proposing that they remain the same as well. It's $2,088 for family for full waiver, or $792 for single, and if the employee wants to have dental and waived medical, it's $1,884 or $720 for single. And again, those haven't changed at all, and they can't be more than 25% of the cost of the premium, which we're well below that.
And the purpose of the waiver is to give folks who have the opportunity to be on some other, like a spouse's policy, some financial incentive to go on the other policy, which if they do that, saves the county quite a bit of money to do
Right.
that. So it's just a small incentive that, for those people who can get covered somewhere else,
Exactly.
they can.
Mhm. However, if there's two employees that are married and are in the county, the way our waiver program works is that if you're on the plan in any form, whether you're the member or whether you're the dependent, you can't get the waiver. So it's in lieu of health care coverage. So we had made that change before, back in 2007, I believe.
Right.
So you can't be on the plan and also receive a waiver.
Okay.
Question for you?
The only other thing I'd like to say is, in looking at our schedules and everything, the open enrollment period will run from October, I would like to say the 10th. Our employees won't be here, but I still am going, even though it's a holiday, I will say October 10th through October 31st. So employees will have the opportunity, if they want to change plans, take off a dependent, add a dependent, make any changes at all to their plan, they'll have that time frame to get their paperwork into their designated department people to send in to us. So
What were the dates again?
it's October 10th through October 31st.
And then we'll send notice to all those departments to let all the employees know.
We'll send a notice outlining the rate increases, we'll send hard copy and email, and we'll get it out there for sure, put it on our site too, our website.
Okay, we'll do 14 through 17 here. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and accept the 2017 Geauga County ZEPCO Anthem Healthcare Renewal Plans and Rates, the county and employee contribution rates, and to further approve and authorize the President and the Board to execute the ZEPCO Geauga County Basic Plan 5A and Enhanced Plan Summary of Benefits Forms to be effective January 1st, 2017. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the ZEPCO Geauga County Rate Renewal Acceptance for 2017. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and accept the 2017 Geauga County ZEPCO Delta Dental Renewal Plans and Rates and the county contribution rate to be effective January 1st, 2017. Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and accept the 2017 Geauga County employee waiver rates to be effective January 1st, 2017.
I'll make those motions.
Second?
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool.
I'd like to publicly acknowledge Kathy's passion, dedication to healthcare and managing all that. She's been doing this for 12 years. She's very, very good at it. And she lives this. She was telling me about something she was worrying about over the weekend. It wasn't related to the healthcare, but Kathy is one of those people that lives her job and does a very professional job. So I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you very much, I appreciate that,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay, we have a few things that are not on the agenda that I wanted to bring up. Let's start with a letter to the Veterans Administration. I think each of us individually have been talking to Dave about the potential of doing this. We've had some requests from one of our departments to expand their operation, and which would impact the veterans. The veterans have made a request for some increases in space and so forth. All of that has led us to ponder moving them to our newly remodeled facilities, which is right next door. The press wants to go see the new facilities. It's freshly remodeled, new carpet, new offices. And I think that this would be, from my perspective, a dramatic improvement in the facilities that the veterans are in. That would lead to better or improvement in veteran service and so forth. So I'm going to ask the other two commissioners. I think you've seen the letter that was drafted to inform the veterans that we would like to move them. And if we have an agreement on that, I'd like to go ahead and ask for that agreement, and then we can move this ball forward and hopefully improve the services for our veterans by giving the veterans some better space and so forth. So, any discussion, questions, comments?
Is there language that we're gonna vote on to agree to this, or are we just doing this agreement? I mean, I'm not sure how that works, that's what I'm asking.
I just kind of wrote something as he was talking.
Go ahead.
Okay.
As you do very well. Go ahead and read it.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute a letter to the Veterans Service Commission in regards to moving their department to the renovated space in building number 5.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye. The other thing, and again, I'm not sure how much both of you know, I'm assuming you're informed, because Dave and Christie do a good job of informing us all. We had a board member resign from the Mental Health Board, and so we'll have a vacancy to fill. In a proactive mode, I've been reaching out to individuals to determine their interest in serving on various boards throughout the county, so I have a couple of names that are ready to submit. We got to probably prepare to go through a process to fill this important seat. In conjunction with that, we talked in the executive session about the possibility of removing 2 other board members. I have the letters that we discussed in the executive session ready for approval by this board, or at least a vote. The attorneys reviewed them, and our attorneys reviewed them for adequacy and so forth. Remembering that this is not a legal action, it's an administrative action, so we have the administrative authority to do this. And so I'm going to ask for, if there's any discussion, we can have discussion. If not, to take action to remove 2 of the mental health board members that we have issues with. So,
Do you want to read both of them, or?
I prefer not to read them. I can read them if you want to, but
I mean, it's fine. Go ahead.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't know that publicly we'll
Yeah,
want to put
that's
these
fine.
people and,
That's
you know,
fine.
put their names out there, but I would just like to move this ball forward. We've talked about it, and we discussed
Which
the issues.
attorney
and
did-
so forth, so.
What attorney wrote this? Or you approved of it?
It was the attorney we were using, his office. Actually, I don't remember the individual's name. It's Budzik.
James Budzik was the attorney that reviewed it, yes.
Through Mansard.
Mansard Gavin is his.
Yeah, and I have this email stream, Dave's got that, which we bantered back and forth on some refinements to the wording and so forth, but he reviewed it and didn't have any issues with it, so. So with that said, if we can, I don't know if there's any discussion on that. If not, I'd like to ask for approval to move forward on this.
You have something to read?
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute letters to Mr. Sasan and Ms. Randazzo, notifying them that the Board of County Commissioners will be removing them from their position on the Geauga County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
No.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye. And in addition to that, we've talked in the past about being part of the Farmland Protection Program. There's a deadline approaching to do that. It's in the middle of October, October 14th, I think. I reached out to Soil and Water, talked to them, and they have been, we've kind of partnered with Soil and Water and with the County Planning Commission in the past to be a part of the Farmland Protection Program. Soil and Water has agreed to subcontract to us to do the hands-on inspection of the property and help us through the process of applying and so forth. In line with that, I talked to Laura LaChapelle yesterday, our attorney, to draft some sort of a cooperative letter of understanding agreement and so forth. So it's not ready today, but I'm just making the both of you aware, if you have any questions, if you want to talk about it, whatever, that the parts and pieces are being put together with the objective of getting that done by October 14th. Soil and Water, I talked to them yesterday, and they're completing the paperwork required to submit for the application. So the county would be the sponsor. Planning would have a review role, input and recommendations, and then Soil and Water would do the hands-on action and activity and so forth. So as long as there's no objection by this board, or if you want any conversation, that those balls are at least being put together so that we can approve those by the board.
Do you have any idea on a time frame other than the deadline being, it has to be done by, what did you say, October
Submitted by
14th?
October
The
14th.
paperwork
It has
has to be submitted.
Submitted by the 14th. The legal components that are at the prosecutor with Laura, did she give you any idea? Is that, do we get it on the 13th, or, you know, or do we get it
Oh, no, yeah. She said there was no big deal yesterday when I talked to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we had a past arrangement, and she's looking at another county right now to see if that model might be something she'd be able to take information from. But I fully expected it would be ready at our next session. And so I'll call her to confirm that, or Dave can call her to confirm that, but I fully expect that we'll have something put together by then.
Yeah, that's not meant to throw anybody under the bus, certainly not the prosecutor's office, just sometimes things take a little longer than we think they ought to, and I just want to make sure that I have time to review that.
Well, the time kind of snuck up on us, thanks to Dave.
Thanks to Christie.
Or Kristen, we got
Our
great people that have to keep us straight. You know, it got raised up, and with Ralph out of town, you know, it was kind of tough to get everything together appropriately, so the whole board had an opportunity to weigh in on it. But just so everybody knows, I started the balls in motion, and hopefully we'll get that submitted, and that just starts things then. Now we have the opportunity, if people want to submit requests and so forth, we have a tool to work with, so. That's stickies, we just stickies.
You gave me so much time as well.
Yeah. There's a little chuckle because a lot of this came together at the last minute. Christie was put on
Do
the.
you need one of those sign here stickers?
No, actually, I have
Just,
some, believe it or not.
I think she had a good 1.5 minutes to do all this.
I have a
No
few.
pressure.
And she responded as a professional.
Yep.
Okay, not too bad for writing 2 motions while I was sitting here.
Oh, this is a cool button. I'm not seeing one. This is not got a metal back on it. This has
No,
got
it
a
doesn't,
plastic
it
back.
actually has a, let's go to Ralph. The stash.
And just as another piece of awareness as Ralph is signing, I attended a meeting, an OACA meeting last week. It was a visioning session. I wouldn't call it so much a visioning session as it was a pre-configured manipulation session. I was not happy with it, with the outcome, but the one comment that was made that was very telling by Grace Galucci, and actually had documentation that was handed out in the meeting that would underline this, is there is an interest, there's a lot of things that they're working on that will impact anybody who goes to Cleveland. But one matter of interest for Geauga County people for future reference is they made a statement about the fact that they want to expand into land use planning. So then the WACA, Cleveland, Cuyahoga County concepts, ideas, values, and so forth would then be translated to Geauga County. Given that we're two different cultures, that was a little concerning to me. And so I expressed my my concerns on that. But I'm, again, making that, just bringing that up for a point of awareness. There is a 2040 plan, which we've talked about here before, and they have an interest in moving that forward, and they're taking little baby steps to achieve their objective. So, whatever that's worth. Anything else? Any questions?
Ralph signed and Jody voted no, so.
If there's no other questions, we have a motion to adjourn. Mr. Zegedy?
Yes, I'm in Department of Aging, person in the state or in the county, and I've tried to have legal work done for the 4th time. And the company I blew the whistle on them because they were operating on an $80,000 non-contract with the county, didn't have any contract. Then they got a contract. Now I hear they moved and they're putting it out for bid. Well, on April 12th, I had my appointment, which sometimes takes 6 months to get, with the same firm that's unable to do any of the filling out paperwork that I give them. And I haven't heard from them since then. And as we know, legal work is time sensitive sometimes. And I talked to the director of the Department of Aging, and she says that I'm the only person in the whole county that these guys were never able to do anything for. I wonder if that's bullying, or maybe you guys should give me a law firm that can handle filling out pieces of paper. You know, and before they charged for doing nothing, and this time I hear they're not charging for doing nothing, but they haven't even sent me a letter back. What kind of people do we contract with in this county?
I don't have all the, I don't know about the other two gentlemen, but I don't have all of the facts, and what you've told me doesn't give me enough information to even comment. We don't oversee that program at a detailed level. I know that there are limited legal assistance hours. You're not guaranteed an attorney open-ended, open checkbook. You have a limited number of hours through the Department of Aging to get some basic advice, and then beyond that, you have legal.
How many years do you gotta wait for the basic advice?
Is on your own. I would get with the head of Department on Aging.
She just pushed me right away.
Well,
She said, you're the only one that, because, I blew the whistle on them. If you're doing an $80,000 contract with the county, or non-contract since they didn't have a contract, and then they got a contract, and now they're putting it out for bid, so they're, by somebody stirring the pot, so to say, we're progressing to a more democratic way. But why do I get bullied? This company, this law firm hasn't even got back to me and said, we can't help you. And I've come to you before and said, will you give me somebody that can help me? So far I heard they haven't billed for their inept abilities this time, but they have billed you for doing nothing but sending a letter saying we can't fill out forms. And I will at any time go in front of you, and they're covering up criminal activities, and all I need is forms, and it's better to have a law firm's name on a piece of paper than Joe Citizen's name where these papers would go.
So I'm going to suggest this to you, again, based on what you've told me. We have, at least from my perspective, I don't have any way to judge what you're saying is true, not true, so forth and so on. If you can document in detail those issues that you have with the attorney that is provided free through the Department of Aging, I would be willing to look into it. But I have to have more information from it. We're not going to solve that here today.
Right,
Because
I
we don't have all the-
understand.
We don't have all the facts necessary to make any kind of an informed decision. So, but I know that, we know who you are, Mr. Zegedy, and that you have issues with the Department on Aging, and so it gets to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm willing to discuss this with you on a more detailed basis to see if there's anything to your cause. But understand, sometimes your perspective on things just may not be reality. And so you're gonna have to be willing to accept that at some point in time. And so I'll meet with you if you want. You show me in detail what your grievance is, and if there's something to it, I'd be willing to sit down with Jessica and talk to her about it. But outside of that, you know, here today in this session, we probably don't have enough information.
Right, I understand that, but you also gotta understand, I'm not allowed to tell you or anybody else in this room what some of the stuff is unless you're the attorney. Because there are laws in the state, not that everybody abides by them.
Well, you can tell us, well, we'll discuss that
Right.
outside the session.
Right,
Because
that's
I'm
good.
I'm not sure that what you commented on is true, but I'm not an attorney, so I don't have a basis to talk. But I'm willing to sit down and talk to you and find the details on what your concerns are.
Right,
But,
that's good.
you know, we can't make decisions here based on the adequacy of an attorney. We trust the head of the Department on Aging to determine that, and for I don't know how many people go through the Department on Aging, get legal advice. We don't hear much grievance.
I hear there's no grievance but me.
Well, I don't know whether that's true or not, and maybe people are not coming, who knows? But again, I'm willing to sit down and talk to you if you're willing to provide detailed explanations on what your issues are. And so, you know, we can take it there and see what you're willing to do. Does that resolve your question at this point?
Right, I have an appointment over there today with Adam on
Okay.
doing some other work, which I'm entitled to, but not legal work.
But well, we'll talk. I don't want to get into too much detail here. It just wouldn't be fruitful. So, but thank you for coming and asking your question. If there's nothing else, we can have a motion to adjourn.
And move to adjourn.
Thank you. We'll adjourn.